actually have a Buxball, yeah.
You do?
Some prototype Buxball that's down in South Texas.
Yep.
Some of these conspiracy theories have turned out to be true.
Hold on to your seats, because Elon Musk has just dropped a bombshell in the housing world. In recent news, Tesla's owner just launched a $7,000 Tesla tiny house. Yes, you heard that right. While traditional prefab homes can set you back anywhere from $55,000 to $80,000, Tesla is offering a compact, sustainable alternative at a fraction of the price. But wait, it gets juicier. Rumors are swirling that Tesla might even throw in free land with your purchase. Is this the future of affordable housing, or just another one of Musk's grand schemes? Let's dive in and see what's really going on. The vision behind Tesla homes. Elon Musk isn't just talking about making cars anymore. He's setting his sights on the very ground we live on. A home. But not the kind of home you're picturing with brick walls, mortgage papers, and decades of debt. No. Musk has something else in mind. Imagine a fully functional, off-grid home priced at just $7,759, sitting on land that he hints could one day be free for everyone. Sounds like a fantasy, right? But then again, so did reusable rockets until we watched Falcon 9s land upright, like science fiction made real. So, what exactly is the vision behind these Tesla homes? And why are they starting to look less like a quirky side project and more like a revolution in the making? The first thing to understand is that Musk isn't reinventing the idea of shelter for fun. Housing is one of the most broken systems on Earth. Across the United States, prices have skyrocketed to the point where entire generations feel locked out of ownership. Globally, the situation isn't much better, with housing shortages piling up alongside growing populations and climate change displacing millions. Musk, who has already disrupted cars, rockets, and energy, sees this crisis as another arena where Tesla's manufacturing muscle and sustainability ethos can collide. And if his track record tells us anything, it's that when he decides to take on a problem, the old rules rarely survive. So let's picture this so-called Tesla home. It isn't your typical prefabricated shack, it's sleek, compact, and built using something called green core materials. Think of it as the housing version of Tesla's recycled aluminum and plant-based composites that are already being explored in their cars. According to reports, these panels and frames are engineered to last decades, resisting weather and reducing the carbon footprint at every stage. Essentially, the home is like a car that doesn't move, designed with the same obsession for durability and efficiency. The walls themselves are smarter, lighter, and greener than the drywall and lumber combo you're probably living in right now. But Tesla's real trick isn't the walls, it's what powers them. At the core of this housing vision sits the Tesla Powerwall, already famous for storing energy captured by solar panels. Imagine a roof that doubles as a mini solar plant, generating electricity, storing it in a sleek battery, and running everything inside your home without a single connection to the traditional grid. Your lights, your appliances, and even your car charging in the driveway could all operate off the sun above you. And because Tesla already makes the Powerwall and solar tech, plugging it directly into the architecture of a house is less of a leap and more of a natural extension. And here's where it gets bold. Musk doesn't just want a handful of eco-geeks buying these homes and patting themselves on the back for being sustainable. He's eyeing mass production. The same way Tesla builds cars by the hundreds of thousands, he's talking about stamping out entire neighborhoods of these compact homes. Imagine an assembly line, not of sedans or Cybertrucks, but of prefabricated modules ready to be shipped, stacked, and slotted together like life-size Lego bricks. Efficiency is the name of the game. Where traditional housing can take months or years of paperwork and construction, a Tesla home could, in theory, be delivered and installed in a fraction of the time. And affordability? That $7,759 figure has people's jaws on the floor. To be fair, it's unlikely that the price includes land, logistics, and all the add-ons people will want. But even if the final cost lands a bit higher, we're still talking about a home that costs less than a used car. Musk has hinted before that land itself could be part of the equation through community partnerships or even large-scale land acquisitions where Tesla builds entire sustainable villages. Imagine waking up in a neighborhood where every single house is solar-powered, battery-backed, and designed to leave almost no carbon footprint. Sounds like a utopian sketch from the 1980s, but it's 2026, and suddenly it doesn't feel so far-fetched. Now, of course, critics are circling. Housing isn't the same as cars or rockets. Regulations, zoning laws, and local politics have derailed many prefab housing projects before. But here's where Musk plays a different game. He's not just building houses, he's selling a vision. The promise isn't only about shelter, but also about independence from the grid, from mortgages, and even from the very idea that homes have to be the biggest financial burden of your life. And that's where the allure lies. People aren't just buying walls and roofs, they're buying freedom. And if you think this sounds like hype, consider the momentum. The tiny house movement has been gaining traction for years, but it has lacked a champion with the resources and charisma to push it into the mainstream. Tesla could be that catalyst. With the same flair that turned electric cars from a niche experiment into a global race, Musk may transform how we think about housing. This isn't about slapping solar panels onto a cabin. It's about rewriting the very DNA of modern living. And before you dismiss it as yet another Musk promise floating in the clouds, just look around. We're already living in an era where artificial intelligence is scanning the terracotta army warriors and leaving experts speechless, where what was once an ancient mystery is being unraveled by 21st century tools. The point is, technology doesn't creep anymore. It leaps. And if Tesla homes leap the way Tesla cars did, then maybe, just maybe, that $7,759 house with free land isn't science fiction. It's the next disruption knocking on our door. So, is this vision realistic? Or is it another dazzling promise that will take decades to materialize? Breaking down the $7,759 price tag. Now let's talk about the number that has everybody scratching their heads, $7,759. That's the headline price Musk tossed out for Tesla's upcoming home, and it's so low that people are wondering if he's trolling us again. I mean, we're used to Musk tweeting out wild figures, but this one feels different. Because when you peel back the layers, there's actually a strategy here. The question isn't whether it's possible, but how on earth Tesla plans to pull it off without bankrupting itself. And the answer? It's the same playbook Musk used with cars and rockets. Mass production, recycled materials, prefab assembly, and a little sprinkle of audacity. Here's the first secret. Tesla doesn't want to build homes like traditional contractors. Forget the small-scale workshops with sawdust flying and workers hammering nails in the sun. Tesla is bringing in the very same automation that stamps out Model Ys by the 100,000. Robotic arms, laser-guided cutters, and an assembly line built for housing. If you can mass-produce a car with thousands of moving parts, producing a box-shaped structure with far fewer variables suddenly looks easy. And efficiency isn't just about speed, it's about cost. Every minute shaved off production is money saved. That's why Tesla can whisper a price tag under $8,000, while competitors can't even come close. Now, materials are another puzzle piece. Building a house is usually an expensive dance with timber, steel, and concrete. But Tesla has been experimenting with something called green core, a material cocktail of recycled automotive waste and plant-based composites. Think of it as giving a second life to the same aluminum, plastics, and fibers used in cars, molded into walls and frames that are lighter and stronger than conventional lumber. Not only does this cut raw material costs, but it also eliminates the waste that normally piles up at a construction site. It's like when you watch chefs on those cooking shows reuse every part of a vegetable. Tesla is doing the same thing with scraps of cars. And yes, it's sustainable, which feeds right into Musk's bigger climate mission. But maybe the real magic happens after you move in. Because a Tesla home isn't just four walls and a roof. It's a miniature energy ecosystem. Each house comes wired to integrate with solar roofing and Tesla's Powerwall battery system, meaning you can literally cut the cord with the grid. Imagine no electric bill, no rolling blackouts, and no gas generators humming in the backyard. Over time, that kind of independence translates into thousands of dollars saved. So, while the upfront cost looks like a bargain, the lifetime cost savings push it into the realm of almost unbelievable. Your house becomes an investment that pays itself back, something you'd never say about a standard mortgage. And here's where comparisons start to get juicy. A conventional tiny home in the United States averages anywhere between $30,000 and $60,000. Even the most stripped-down prefab units rarely drop below $20,000. Globally, prefab houses are marketed as affordable, but still land in the five-figure range. So when Tesla flashes a figure that's barely a quarter of that, it isn't just aggressive pricing, it's a shockwave. Suddenly, millions of people who never thought home ownership was possible are paying attention. This is where the psychology kicks in. Tesla isn't only selling shelter, it's selling the dream of freedom from debt, landlords, and rising energy bills. Of course, you can't ignore the catch. That $7,759 probably won't include land, shipping, or all the add-ons that make a house truly livable. But even if the final price doubles or triples, Tesla still crushes the competition. And if Musk finds a way to fold in land partnerships or bulk community deals, we might really be talking about an era where housing costs less than the car parked in the driveway. It sounds surreal, like something you'd read in a science fiction magazine from the 1980s. But then again, we also live in a world where artificial intelligence just scanned the terracotta army warriors and left experts speechless, revealing details invisible for centuries. That's the kind of leap technology takes today. Not creeping progress, but sudden jumps that leave us all scrambling to catch up. So why hasn't anyone else done it? The answer is simple. They don't have Tesla's production scale. They don't own both the energy and battery tech. And they don't have a CEO who thrives on breaking industries wide open. Traditional builders rely on slow permits, unions, and local supply chains. Tesla, by contrast, is applying the muscle of a global automaker to one of the most stagnant industries on Earth. It's the same mentality that let SpaceX slash rocket launch costs when nobody thought it was possible. At the end of the day, the $7,759 home isn't just about affordability, it's a statement. It says the housing industry is bloated, inefficient, and ripe for disruption. It says sustainability doesn't have to be expensive. And it says that Musk, love him or hate him, is once again rewriting the rules. Whether this price holds true in practice or becomes another one of his infamous stretch goals, one thing is certain. The housing world has just been put on notice. But here's the twist. What if Tesla isn't just challenging how we build homes, but how we own land itself? Could Elon Musk really make property free? The land free for everyone? Rumor. All right, lean in for this one, because it's where the dream of a Tesla home collides headfirst with reality. Not only will Tesla sell you a futuristic home for $7,759, but apparently the land it sits on will be free. That's right. The whispers online suggest you won't just buy a house. You'll get the dirt underneath it thrown in at no cost. A two-for-one deal that feels less like 21st century real estate and more like a fantasy pulled out of the 1980s late-night infomercials. But is Musk really about to hand out land as if it were a complimentary charger with your Model 3? Or is this just another viral rumor with more hype than substance? To understand where this buzz started, you have to dive into the culture of internet speculation. When Musk teases something, the world listens, and then the internet fills in the blanks with stories he never actually told. On platforms like Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, posts have claimed Tesla will not only launch these compact houses, but also solve the one thing that keeps housing prices astronomical: land. In a world where zoning laws and rising property values block ordinary people from owning a patch of earth, the idea that Musk would bulldoze through tradition and make it free is intoxicating. The problem? It's also not true. Fact checkers at PolitiFact dug into these claims and found zero evidence that Tesla ever promised free land. What they found instead was a mix of wishful thinking, misunderstandings, and creative interpretations of Musk's bigger vision. And here's where the nuance creeps in. Musk has flirted with ideas that fuel these rumors, even if he hasn't outright promised them. He has mused publicly about tiny home villages, neighborhoods powered by solar and Tesla batteries, where homes are prefabricated, sustainable, and affordable. In theory, land for such projects could be leased collectively or managed in a cooperative model, which would make it feel cheaper or even free compared to traditional mortgages. It's a clever twist. The land isn't free in the literal sense, but if Tesla were to control large plots and lease them at rock-bottom rates, the effect could mimic that dream. Still, no government on Earth is about to wave a wand and make land ownership vanish. The reality is a tangled web of zoning restrictions, property deeds, and centuries-old laws that even the most innovative billionaire can't just erase overnight. And it gets even more complicated when you look at the legal challenges already brewing. That YouTube discussion circulating online, the one about land disputes tied to the rumors, digs into just how messy the legal side of things gets when you mix private enterprise with housing. Musk may want to disrupt the way we live, but real estate is not like building rockets or electric cars. It's a world defined by local politics, entrenched interests, and legal frameworks designed to resist disruption. Even if Tesla dropped homes on every corner of America tomorrow, each of those homes would need to sit on land, recognized, taxed, and regulated by somebody. Free land for everyone? That would set off court battles and legislative fights before the first Tesla foundation was even poured. So why does this rumor keep spreading like wildfire if the facts don't back it up? Simple. Because it feels like something Musk would do. After all, this is the man who built reusable rockets when NASA said it was impossible, who launched a car into space for the fun of it, and who talks about colonizing Mars as if it were a weekend camping trip. Compared to that, handing out land almost sounds mundane. The myth has staying power because it blends his reputation for radical disruption with people's deepest hopes for affordable living. In a way, the rumor tells us more about the desperation of our current housing market than it does about Tesla's actual plan. People want to believe that someone, anyone, can break the cycle of high rents and impossible mortgages. And maybe, in the long run, that's the real story. Not that Musk is handing out free land, but that he has managed to make millions of people imagine a world where such a thing could exist. Whether it's through cooperative villages, low-cost leases, or sustainable prefab neighborhoods, there's a kernel of possibility wrapped inside the exaggeration. Just like the terracotta army warriors recently scanned by AI, where experts were left speechless at the hidden details revealed after centuries underground, the Tesla land rumor forces us to look closer, to peel back the surface hype and ask what deeper truths might be hiding underneath. Is free land a fantasy? Probably. But a reimagined system where ordinary people can afford not just a roof, but a patch of earth to stand on. That's the disruptive vision that keeps this rumor alive, even if the facts tell another story. But if the land isn't free, then how exactly does Tesla plan to make housing affordable on a massive scale? Public reactions. All right, let's step into the wild world of the internet, because the moment the Tesla home rumor took off, social media turned into a circus. On TikTok and YouTube, you've got reaction montages where people are laughing, crying, and straight up debating whether a $7,159 house is genius or a scam in waiting. Fans are celebrating Musk as the savior of sustainability, imagining off-grid eco-villages powered by solar and batteries. But critics? They're already rolling their eyes, questioning whether these homes will hold up or if the real catch lies in the land. It's hype, skepticism, and memes colliding all at once. If Tesla actually pulls this off, it's not just a tiny house story, it's the spark of a housing revolution. Imagine entire villages where your home, your car, and your power grid are all part of one sleek ecosystem. Leasehold models could shift how land is used, while off-grid communities might spring up in places once thought too expensive to touch. Analysts are already speculating that this could change the housing market the way Tesla changed cars. But, as always, the question lingers. Is this vision a bold new chapter, or just another promise stuck between dream and reality? Well, there you have it. That's what's new from the infamous Elon and his crew at Tesla. Tell us what you think. Is this the future in the making, or simply PR?